Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another episode of DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting another episode of DYOR Live. Today, I've got another good show for you today. It's August 21st, 2024. As usual, we got Pedro in the house. We also have a guest in the house today named Cole, who'll be talking with Pedro and I about all sorts of things from smack to crypto to you name it. But anyway, as usual, there's always a theme of the show today. And the theme that I caught on the news today was Bitcoin gaining better acceptance all around the world. Because why, ladies and gentlemen? Why is that? Because the wizards down in El Salvador, one of the smallest countries in the world, have come up with a way to now put all of their government servants through, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, through school to learn about BTC policies, strategies, and how to manage it. And that can only mean one more thing, that soon the United States will be next and put their 33 million government employees through it. But we'll talk about more about that later. But right now, this is the time where I always have to welcome my co-host, Pedro Garcia, in the house. Pedro, what's happening?
What's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing well today. It is a beautiful day, man. I cannot complain. It is in right now the 70s with a cool breeze. The sun is shining, and I want to be on a boat drinking a Mai Tai. Anyhow.
That's what I would like to be drinking too, but instead I'm talking into this foam microphone here, trying to keep everyone entertained, and the money's flowing in.
Awesome. Well, so it's been really interesting. Let's jump right into the social media situation. If you guys could do us a favor, please hit that heart like button and share button. That helps so much, as you guys know. It does push the algorithm to sit there and say, hey, these guys are doing something cool, and we would like to show it off. And then they will go, oh, wow, that is cool. If they want to show it off, that means we need to show off. And then they will go through and put us on the great and all-powerful AI, who will then disseminate us to all the people out there. So anyhow, if you guys could do that, would be great. In addition to that, just tell us how you guys are doing. You guys are already. I actually want to throw out Jesus, the Lord and Savior, has come to visit us again. We appreciate you, and thank you letting us know that we're all going to go to heaven. I thank you. That's awesome.
I think what happened, I believe, is that Jesus, otherwise as I call him, Jesus, not to get confused with the bearded guy 2,000 years ago, learned how to change his handle on YouTube, and so now we're getting all kinds of different things. Might not have been a good thing for him to learn how to change that. Anyway, today we're streaming all over the place. We're on Facebook for the first time in a while. Put that out there. We're on X, so if you're watching on X, please click through to the broadcast screen so you can get to the comments, drop some comments and all that. As usual, we're on Twitch. A couple of you guys watch on Twitch, and we're thankful for that. And we're over with the feet people on Kick too. So if you're with the feet people over on Kick, well, yeah, okay, you're with us.
That's like the one thing I can't handle, dude. Like, I've never understood that for the life of me. Why people even just, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't even know. I can't even explain it.
We're not going to talk. Since they joke about it, probably we'll get a whole bunch of them being like, hey, it's our right to do whatever we want. You know,
as long as you're doing it over there, bro, and I don't got to see it.
Pedro, I'm going to try, and my system's running a little slow here, so the screens are running a little slow. But let's give a minute to talk about BTC here and what's going on this morning here. Looks like another big can of nothing this morning.
Well, let's go ahead and just point out some cool parts here. So one of the things is, and I actually put this on, I'm actually starting to post a little bit in this small Facebook group over here. But one of the things I posted is say, look, be careful because the market again started going up. And so I pointed out a nice little short area here that we could actually short the market in that group there. And so I basically said to him, there is this resistant level between 6, and I thought it was so interesting. It's 666,000, and as well as 6313. And so I said, well, that's kind of interesting. That's you know, interesting numbers there. But what was interesting is this: is that I knew that we'd come up into this level, and then see a sell-off come in, and at least give you a 2-to-1 there, if not a 3-to-1. And so this area right here, we're consolidating. And what I find interesting is yesterday we came in with some decent volume, which pushed it up, but we then saw the sell-off into the evening. And then we tried pushing up again. Now, this is important when I look at the market, because this was in the evening here as the market was kind of consolidating versus right here. So what this means, at least on a day-to-day, intraday, is you have this sell-off coming in, right? And this level here is they just put in a ton of shorts here down at this level. So this is their primary area where they're putting in their shorts. So most likely they're going to see how much they're going to try to bring in even more shorts, one last hoorah as they push up. So as you can see here, they're pushing up into that 666 area. And as they push up, they're not putting many demand wicks. So I'm expecting to see it start to probably sell off from this level here and come back down to that 57 370 area is what I'm expecting to see happen here. And this is kind of like my where I'm looking at. Now, this is a little bit different compared to what I normally do with you guys, where I basically stick to more of the macro sense of technical analysis. But right now, we're starting to consolidate at these little levels here. And so you got, if I want you guys to make a little bit of cash. Again, this is not financial advice, but I want you guys to be able to sit there and see what I'm doing, and it's kind of like how I kind of go about looking at things. And so this area here is an area that I'm looking to see for a short. And again, I'm a part of me wants to show off that video that I made last night, but we'll go into that. Maybe we'll put it into the Telegram for you guys to go look at. And then, I thought about that. I thought about just doing little stuff like that, putting that into the Telegram. If that's something you guys would want me to do, let me know.
If you can get people to
yeah, sure,
come over and read it.
Yeah.
Watching some pervert guy talk to this girl on the street corner out here, and she's not having it.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with the guys talking to girls, man. I mean,
No. This guy's one of the pig feet people.
Oh, okay.
Cole, I've got this window to, if I live on this first floor here at an intersection, and you see all kinds. There's a bus stop and a train stop. You see all kinds of things here.
You don't even need a TV. You got all the action right in front of you. Different every day.
All right, Pedro, give me just a second here to finish up with BTC and whatever you got to do. I've got to get our guest screen working here.
Okay, perfect. All right. So one of the things I want to bring out here is as it's pushing up, this is our resistance level, which is that 6666 mark area into the 6313 area. If we stop right here, which this would then put in the lower high, okay, we should see a continuation down. And the reason why I'm saying the continuation down fully, down into these lower levels, is because we're not seeing buy volume step in. And this is key in relationship to the market as it moves up and down. So as I'm looking at this, it's one of those things that I always sit there and say, okay, what is going on? Are they buying or are they selling? And to me, they're looking like they're buying to sell short against the market. So it's something that I'm warning you guys for, so you can prepare for that. Okay. Tom, I just sent you Cole's Telegram, so you should be able to reach out to him. I don't know if you caught that. So I'm expecting to see this type of sell-off here. If this continues and we start to see a pickup in the sellers, expect to see us come through that this zone here, which is roughly between 57 to 54,000, and to be testing these lows at the 53 to 52. So this potentially could be an epic short that we can sit there and see as it comes down to these lower areas. Now, my hope, as you guys all know, is I'm hoping to see it come down easily to that 400 period moving average, which is going to be that 48,500. If this does not hold here, and we see this thing really start to pick up legs and starting to run, the next level down is literally all the way down at these 30,000 area. There's nothing there outside of this. There's nothing there. This thing comes down to here, the 30,000, and potentially after that, the 20,000. Now, we do have some big time SMAs. We have the 50 period monthly sitting right here and the 20 sitting here. So again, these are strong SMAs on a very high time frame. So it's most likely we're going to see it stop at these lower levels. But if it does not, expect us to see this come down. We're nearing the end of the month, and they pushed it back up to, I think, potentially push it back down. So we're going to see right here as the end of the week comes into this and the new month comes in. Are you still there, buddy?
I'm here. All
right. Is he able to come on?
Yeah, he's on voice. I'm just trying to bring his box up here.
All right. Let's see.
It's just taking me a second here.
It's all right. Let's go ahead and pull up here real quick. And did you get his bio? Or his moniker?
Ah, there he is. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen, our guest of the day, Bitcoin advocate Cole here. Pedro, why don't you give us a quick introduction, because it's since I can't control my screen that quickly, this would be a good time to do it.
Awesome. All right, so Cole is a genius of a man in the idea of this man understands industry and gets where we see business going and coming. So this man saw it, and within the last, when did you get started? 2014? Is that correct?
Is when I started in Bitcoin itself, but Coinos itself has been online since 2012.
Yes.
Well, I've been in Bitcoin. Wow. Yeah.
So he's been pushing this and just really taking the lead on it and really trying to help with transactional speed into the mom and pop shops. Obviously, he would love to get in major corporations, but he's plugging away and just talking to people, and he's building a network of guys who are going out there putting this before people. And because ultimately, we already know that sooner or later, institutions as well as down to mom and pop shops are going to need a system for a transaction for Bitcoin, and that is what Cole is actually establishing and doing. So I love it, absolutely love it.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead, bud. Talk to us a little about what you're currently doing right now, and just kind of your story. What kind of got you into crypto?
Right. So what happened was I looked at crypto as technology. It's a new technology, a way that we can attain freedom. Instead of me having to be in the chains, trapped in the chains of my job, my 9-to-5 job. And I don't think it's a bad thing to have a job. I don't think, having a 9-to-5, I think it's almost healthy in some ways to have a job in general, a certain kind of job. But I think that it's not okay for you to actually need your job to survive, or actually, be in a state where if you lose your job, you are screwed. Like, that's not a good thing. That's not a good place to be in. Robert Kiyosaki, right? And then, the Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, he talks about a lot of this kind of stuff. That opened my mind a lot when I read that back in 2014 or something along those lines. And I looked at Bitcoin as a way that I can, like I mentioned, have freedom and have control over my money as well. So since I can have control over my money, I don't have as much of a risk as a bank has, right? I don't have the same risk of having my money in a bank. If I have my money in a bank, I risk not being able to withdraw it someday. I also risk having my money stored in dollars, and dollars only go down in value. Bitcoin only goes up in value. Bitcoin is the greatest hedge against inflation that mankind has ever seen. And when I look at the statistics like that, I look at all of the data, this is all factual. You can look at the inflation numbers, you can look at how much Bitcoin's gone up in value. I look at it as an investment also. In addition to it being an investment, it's decentralized money. I control it. If you store it in the right way, that is, such as a cold storage wallet, hardware wallet, something like that. Now, when you have it in that way, you are relying on yourself. You're not trusting anyone but yourself, unless it's your spouse or your brother or your mom or dad.
Right.
And that's why people call Bitcoin trustless, because you're not necessarily trusting Bitcoin itself. So when I realized these things about Bitcoin, it made me want to dive into it, made me want to learn more about it. And I still didn't end up really, really diving into learning about it until even later, like years into my Bitcoin journey. And I was on my construction site at the time, and people were just talking about this Bitcoin thing, crypto thing. They're like, "Oh, if you check your crypto wallet, things are way up right now." And I was like, "Whoa!" Like I pulled out my wallet because I haven't been thinking about it for like years, and I was like, "Whoa, no way, that's crazy." So I wasn't like tracking it over the years. People started talking about it around me, and then I pulled up my wallet, and I'm just like, "Wow, this is like 2 bull runs ago, right? They're back in like 2017."
Wow.
And then after. Yeah, for sure, right? So, but after that, this is my 3rd bull run cycle coming up. And what happened is I just learned, COVID ended up shutting down our construction site multiple times. I was a superintendent in tower construction. So I had 4 towers under management simultaneously at one time. And that was my job, my day job, before I went to Bitcoin full time, essentially. And mining, I'm into Bitcoin mining as well. So when COVID shut down our construction site multiple times, we couldn't go out to the bar or wherever we like to go hang out, and we couldn't go have public gatherings anywhere in public. And so what I did is, okay, well, I might as well use this time to study something. I might as well use this time to do something instead of just do nothing. Instead of my couch, do nothing. I might as well study this Bitcoin thing. Did some studying into that. I got a bunch of mining machines, got into mining as well. I have a commercial space. And then that also helped as well. It helped me from my transition from the construction management industry into Bitcoin full time. And then I basically, with Coinos, I met the founder, Adam, a couple of years ago in Vancouver at a Bitcoin meetup. And we just got along really well. He wanted to help build his business with merchants and setting up merchants with accepting Bitcoin as a payment option, not just as merchants, but also users. Coinos is a good user wallet to use, even if you're not if you're not a merchant. Now, since I've come on board with Coinos with Adam, and I've become a partner with Adam in Coinos, we've grown to now having 550 businesses, over 550 businesses worldwide, now accepting Bitcoin as a payment option. Wow. Bitcoin and Lightning and Liquid. And 60 of those locations are in Vancouver. In Brazil, we got about 400, something like that. All across Canada, there's 75-ish, something like that. We just onboarded our first gas station in Canada. That was about a week ago, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so if you can go fill up your gas and pay in Bitcoin, that's how you know Bitcoin adoption has been increasing. That's how you know Bitcoin adoption is becoming upon us more and more. Actual global adoption. We can't say that we are there right now. Like any new technology, it can take some time for it to grow.
You know what it reminds me of, though? It reminds me of when, you remember when Katie Kirk on the Today Show, I'm showing how old I am.
Ooh, that's an age comment there, Katie Kirk.
Yeah. And she sits there and she goes, "Hey, what is the internet? What is the Google?" Or something like that. And I remember that, and it's almost
just ask
like
Al Gore.
Yeah. Like, it's almost like it's like right before that. It's like that's where you're at. It's like mom and pop are gonna come in that store and they're gonna sit there and go, what is Bitcoin? Why are people paying in Bitcoin? Right? It's like the masses understand it, or excuse me, the masses have heard of it. Like, what is the internet? Right? Instead of what's the internet? And it almost has a title right before, and so Bitcoin almost has this mystique to itself where it's like, what is the Bitcoin? What is, it's like, and it's like sooner or later, like, and then obviously, you're gonna be sitting there going, oh well, let me tell you, young lady, anyways.
Yeah, I know. I mean, tons of people thought the internet was a scam, right?
Yeah.
And there was newspaper articles saying it when the internet was new. So many people were saying it's a scam, it's not going to last, because it was new technology, and there's so many skeptics about all new technology, and it's almost always a result of people just being ignorant.
Yeah. Hey, Pedro, let's take a quick second out here to check in with the viewers here.
Absolutely.
Crypto Mike, thanks for joining us. We'll give Crypto. He's from Manitoba, so we give him in Canada here. Thanks for joining us, Crypto Mike. Jesus, the Lord and Savior, as always. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it.
We need something for him. We need a song for him, and we need a diddly for him.
Yeah, we do.
A must. Like, he is.
Daryl Lawton coming to us from Madrid. Cole, I'm gonna drop you on mute for a second here.
Mr. Lawton.
Let's see who else we got hiding in the comments here. Of course, we got Pedro Garcia in the house.
Troublesome. We got Troublesome in there.
Oh, yeah, there he is, Troublesome. Pretty sure trustless refers to the Byzantine general's dilemma.
Oh, that's good, dude. We haven't seen Troublesome, so it's good to see you. Actually.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in a while. He was here yesterday or 2 days ago.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Jesus says, a point of sale to make crypto into fiat, right? Into my account. Jesus is a car dealer in San Francisco. And Jesus, do you take crypto? I mean, I know you're a used car dealer. You'll take anything. You'll take your mother of the person trying to buy the car.
You'll take anything.
But if not, if you want to take crypto,
we got you.
Yeah, absolutely. More than happy to set you up, brother. Yeah, it's free. We don't charge anything to set up, too. Like, if you want us to set you up with accepting Bitcoin payments, we don't charge anything to set you up. We just want to help you be able to accept payments, Bitcoin payments.
It shall be fun.
And for all those watching on the various social media platforms, just remember to like, share, comment, all that type of stuff. We really appreciate it. It always helps the algorithm. If you want to super chat us $5-10 million, that always helps boost us up through the algorithm as well. Not that I'm just begging for money here or anything, but if you want to drop a few million bones here, that's fine.
We're
no
not
problem.
Gonna stop you.
won't stop you at all. And once again, X is pretty close to having a really good streaming platform here. They've got a little bit to go, and it takes 2 or 3 clicks to get to the actual broadcast screen and comment section. Click that extra one, open up a new window, put us on the background, do whatever you need to do. But we're trying to boost up our credibility on X here, because it's starting to take off over there pretty well there.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway,
X is really good. X is great to be on. So, like, you'll get a lot of good exposure. Doing giveaways is also really good for, like, attracting attention from people.
Yeah, the degens, they'll always take free stuff.
I need $20. I need $10. Yeah.
Actually, I never thought about that, but you know what? We could throw something like that, like $10. Be like, if you guys share us out, we'll throw you $10.
And say that you'll send them $10 in Bitcoin, like with Coinos. Say it's a Coinos giveaway.
Ooh,
and we'll give you $10 to your Coinos
Always
wallet.
thinking.
Yeah.
I hear a sponsor down the road here. I think we hear sponsorship here. Yes. We are up and coming. I gotta admit. It was really interesting. A friend of mine hit me up yesterday and was like, "Were you on the Futurist conference?" And I was like, he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Dude, you got fat." I was like, no, congratulatory that we're coming up, we're moving. He goes, "No, dude, oh my good Lord, bro, you don't even got a chin. Remember the thing I used? I was like, oh,
You don't even got a chin.
I was like, I got 2 of them, man. Get off of me. But in the same sense, man, like I would love, like the idea of going through. Man, do you not have it, Cole? I keep getting
Yeah, no, little live. No, not the stream. Like for me to send to people.
Oh my goodness! Yes, I apologize. Yes, that is. I'm a little slow there. Do you want? I'll send you a couple of them.
Yeah, all good. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I'm a little.
I'll forward it to a bunch of people. Yeah,
definitely on it right now. Boom. Here we go. No, so I think it was really interesting is that the idea behind what is actually happening in Bitcoin is it's not like a moment of like, okay, what, like there was a moment in time where all of a sudden everybody, I mean, within a month, 2-month period, everybody had a computer with an internet connection, right? It was succinct. I remember that, like all my friends, everybody, I'm a foster kid. I was a foster kid. And, I remember like this period in time when like it just everybody had the internet. It was everybody had it, So
you mean like today?
What do you mean? I'm sorry.
Everybody has the internet today.
No, I know, but there was a moment in time where like everybody like literally
all
had
of a sudden they had it. All of a sudden you could
like,
count on someone having it.
Yeah. And whether I went from one foster home to another or you went, it was like everybody just kind of had it. And I remember it was like in junior high, like the
you've got mail.
You've got mail. And I feel like that's what we're gonna see. And in relationship to Bitcoin or just cryptocurrency. I mean, dude, I gotta put it like this: my brother, who is in Mexico, and all they all understand crypto. Exchanges, DeFi better than most Americans. You know what I'm saying? Like their understanding of crypto is so vast, more so than just even like scholarly educated people are like, well, what's a wallet? What is this? So it's just, I mean, if the rest of the world is really hitting hard, it's just going to be a matter of time before I think just America sits there, walks into a gas station and goes, oh yeah, let me give you my wallet so I can pay in Crow. Yeah, or pay in Bitcoin or pay in Lite. It's just gonna be one of those.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. I mean, when paying Crow, you don't hear as many people asking about that. I do have a crypto.com wallet. I do have actually. No, it's not on my pod. I mean, I have it here, but it's the crypto Visa card. It has helped me when I'm traveling, but. Imagine like the thing with Visa is that it's full KYC and your identity is fully tracked and on the blockchain, and it's tracked in your KYC when you use Visa. But when you use directly with Bitcoin, when you transact directly with Bitcoin, it's not as you're not KYC'd. You're less. You're more private that way. So.
But yeah. I think that's where we're going to go. I mean, I think we're very much going to go with this idea of, decentralized everything. We're going to sit there and see this push, and the government's going to have to. I mean, when the fact is that when Trump sat there and said, I believe in Bitcoin, I believe in decentralization, and I will not let CBDCs overtake America, and I will give you the right for self-custody. Those 4 things was so big, he jumped in the polls hugely. I mean, very bigly.
Yeah.
Very huge,
oh yeah.
Huge.
Oh yeah.
The question is, where did he get that?
Yeah.
Where did he get those blurbs from? What actually decent advisor did that guy hire? That unlike all those other people that have either been to jail or
and that's
whatever.
What it is. That's exactly what it is, right? It's his advisors telling him like what to say, and it's good. Yeah, what decent advisor did he get, right? Yeah, and even though we know that we can't fully trust what all politicians say, right? But I am still pretty hopeful about some of the stuff that Trump is saying.
Well, and here's my thing. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
Oh yeah. Are you in? You're in Connecticut, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. What is that? Is that like a Republican state or a Democratic state?
No,
Primarily.
it is blue up. It is dark blue. Actually, you know what? Let me phrase this. We're actually kind of purple now. We're actually
Wow.
yeah, and you want to know why? This
Why?
crypto is starting to become big, and I didn't realize, but there's a lot of crypto people out there, and like Shiba Inu's out there. You have a bunch of crow people out there that are just like trying to get it, and I didn't realize this until actually I came back. I went to the Futurist conference and came back and just started plugging in. I should have done this a long time ago, but just simply said, crypto for Connecticut, or I just started searching and saw all these Facebook places, all these private like groups, and I'm like, are you serious? Like, so, and I think it has to do with because the Republicans are pro crypto. And because of that, and it's now switching the whole entire system. I mean, it would be stupid for Blumenthal and a few of the other knuckleheads to really start to like instead of trying to poo-poo crypto like we're seeing in New York. I mean, it's becoming a real issue. I think it's going to become the singular issue in relationship to seeing governors, senators, and House of Representatives really come in office and stay in office. And the idea of the right to self-govern, I mean, it makes sense because it's becoming an issue. And it's, that's what I think. I could be wrong.
Cole, I split my time between Chicago, here, where I am today, and Ottawa, where I also live 50% of the time, where, as I say, Mrs. Striking and I live. And so I get to see the boneheaded moves the U.S. politicians make, but also the ones the Canadian politicians make too. And so I get the double whammy of it. But at least it's been interesting watching. As you know, about a year ago or so, year and a half ago, when Bitcoin went down to $18,000, the Canadian government turned it into a political football, and we're pointing each other. You said that everyone's grandmas were going to go bankrupt and all that type of stuff. And now that it's become, first of all, the price is back up to where it was, to a massive industry, especially in Alberta. The mining industry is really cranking it there. And all of a sudden, the government's dead quiet. Shh. Just not making a fuss on it, but quietly behind the scenes, just letting the regulatory agencies kind of do their thing now. And so it's been nice not having it pulled out of the political football stage and just into the, if we don't talk about it, everything will kind of be fine. But unfortunately, here in the U.S., it's not working as working as well. The rumors are that Kamala Harris, and these are all very true rumors because I heard them on the internet. They want Gary Gensler to be more connected to crypto and regulation. And then there's other people that say, well, Donald Trump will fire him, within seconds of getting into office. And so the Crypto Juggling Act, it went from 3, chainsaws to 4, which is, 3 times as hard as just doing, 3. I would say temporarily for the next, until November, we Americans are effed. But you Canadians are effed until October of 25 because you got a whole nother year before your election.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, what's really good is that, and Pedro, as being a trader, he'll know as well that U.S. election years are always overall bullish years for risk assets. And then, so statistically, historically, the bull run is probably going to hit next year. Yeah.
Well, the money printer is probably going to come on, so that means the government's going to be spending money on all types of things, and with inflation, running many months behind the money printer, there's if the money printer comes on now by the November election, everything's going to be great. The defense companies will be building weapons like crazy. Everyone's going to have free money. And then so next year when inflation catches up with it, all of a sudden our fiat devalued even more.
Oh yeah, and I was listening to something that Arthur Hayes was talking about on Crypto Banter, and Arthur Hayes was he's pretty smart. He's got he's I know that I know the whole BitMEX thing wasn't that good, but he was talking about how it doesn't really matter who wins the election, whether it in regards to like risk assets going up, because they're going to have to print money anyways, and anybody in the right mind, I mean, they're going to have to print money anyways. So it was an interesting take that I haven't really heard from most people, because I was on the side of like wanting Trump to get in because he's saying all these really good things about crypto, about Bitcoin. And I'm still kind of like wanting that to happen. But Arthur Hayes put a different kind of spin on it, saying it doesn't actually matter that much who wins, because they're going to have to do the same things to the market anyways. It's kind of what his take was. I'm not saying I fully agree with it, but it was an interesting thing to think about.
I used to watch Crypto Banter a lot, but I haven't been able to lately.
Yeah.
They started going getting too reactionary in the O-face thumbnails.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Trying to bait.
Do this today, otherwise you'll miss out. And 2 days later, it's over. Crypto's done. Yeah. It's like,
I don't like that.
You get wary of that.
I really don't like that. Yeah, I don't like when people do that with those thumbnails, right? It's like, oh yeah, we're going to the moon, and then 2 days later, it's all over.
It's over.
That's crazy. Yeah, I actually
you had to get 10,000 people to watch.
I know, right? Yeah, it's crazy. I actually met Crypto Banter at the Bitcoin Miami conference last year, and I didn't even know who he was. So I can kind of tell, like, I didn't have a clue. Yeah, so many people were like crowding around him, and then there was other like Instagram, there was other like YouTube influencers that were around the area. People were like crowding around him, and then there was Oh, sorry. I have an echo. Instagram. There was other like YouTube influencers that
Pedro,
were around.
I think you're feeding. Sorry about that. I don't know. Feedback from somewhere.
Okay, yeah, all good. And then when I was there, I could tell that he was just wondering why I wasn't really paying attention to him, because he had all these like people crowding around him and stuff. I just literally didn't have a clue who he was, and I was so much more fixated on a couple other YouTubers who didn't even have any stand set up, and he had this big grandiose, like, it was a nice stand. He had his full area, and I just didn't have a clue who he was. So I just
not now, buddy, not now.
It was like that kind of, right? Yeah. Not literally, obviously, but it was like I just kind of walked right by because I just literally didn't know. Because anyone else walking by, I'm like, oh my gosh, hi, right? Yeah. So it's just kind of, I thought that was funny. And then I found out who he was later, and I'm like, oh, he's pretty big. Wow.
I would all love to have those problems. We're so famous that we get upset when someone doesn't recognize us.
Yeah, right.
I'm just happy when the homeless guy in the corner that sits out here recognizes me. He's like, can you get me a ham sandwich again? All right.
That's funny.
Let's see. Let's look at the comments here today.
When it comes to the whole entire fame thing, man, I really doesn't even I think it's funny because it's like,
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Ooh, bad things are happening when I hit that button. I was supposed to disappear, not the whole background. There we go. Pedro, your screen disappeared now. Pedro? Earth to Pedro.
Pedro, you there? Pedro?
No, Pedro. He's talking. Pedro, you're on mute. Pedro, Earth to Pedro, you're on mute. All right, Chris. So, are you from the Vancouver area, or do you end up there like many Canadians do?
I
guess we're having a little technical difficulties here, people. Chris, I was asking are you from the Vancouver area, or do you end up there like many Canadians do?
Cole.
Sorry.
Cole. Yeah.
Sorry, we have a regular guest here, Chris, that sits in that little box over there.
Oh, okay. I see.
Sorry, cool.
Okay.
Cool.
So you're asking.
Let's try this again. Are you from Vancouver, or did you move there like many other Canadians do over time?
Yeah, no, I grew up here in the area, British Columbia in Canada, and I lived in another area in Canada for about a couple years, right? And then
We
I
have
mean,
a,
but overall, I've never actually lived outside of Canada.
we have quite the contingent of Canadian viewers because I spend half my time there and do a lot of work in Canada. And
Nice.
things like that. But we have guys in Manitoba. Pay attention. Big contingent in Ontario, London, the whole thing. For a while, we had a regular from PEI in New Brunswick. So we're, as they say, coast to coast to coast in Canada. But I got to tell you, though, Mrs. Striking and I went out to Vancouver. Really enjoyed it. It was the first I had driven through there as a kid a long time ago and don't remember much of it. But when you stay down there in the harbor, you get spoiled really quickly. You know, you're like, oh, there's mountains, there's the water, there's good places to ride your bike, there's Stanley Island, all this type of stuff. And I'm from Chicago, which is on a Great Lake and is gorgeous and all that, but it's flat. And the whole place, if the lake goes up by a foot, this whole place is going to flood. I had to teach my kids to sled on the back of a World War II statue because that was the only place the snow would drift. And so... So it's flat. And so you get to Vancouver and you're like, oh, now I see why all the young generation kids come out here now. And you're like, oh, I get it. It's kind of beautiful here. Oh, here comes Pedro. Seems to be coming back. Pedro, what's happening?
Hey, yeah, my PC decided it was being overloaded for some reason. So, yeah, but I'm here again now. Yay. All right.
I was just filling in with Chris. I'm going to step off for 1 second to refresh unload one thing and refill another thing. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, I think what's interesting, Cole, is like unless I guess I bounced out when it comes to like the Fang stuff. Like I just think it's silly. Like y'all put your pants on one pants at a time, man. You put or one leg at a time. You put your shirt on, and you bleed blood. You're a human being. Now you may be smarter than me or whatever, but whatever, man. Like I think it all depends on how you treat every single person. Like how do you treat everybody? Like I think it was it Abraham Lincoln that said you can measure a man by the way he treats other people who bring no value to him. And I think that's an important statement, Ooh, what's going on there? It's really loud. Cole, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on? It's
No, it's you cut out for like 5 minutes.
Oh, you didn't hear what I was saying?
No, the last thing I heard you say, I heard you start talking again when you mentioned Abraham Lincoln. That was a good quote, actually. The measure of a man is how he treats someone who brings no value to him. It's a good quote.
I think it's truly the person, because I mean everybody will treat anybody, and I don't mean this in like a bad way, but if that person brings no value to you, then meaning from a financial or an emotional or whatever it be, right? Get you indoors or whatever it be, many times you don't even pay attention to them, right? And or they don't register. And what I find interesting is that at least my philosophy is that every person intrinsically has value and dignity, regardless of what they bring to the table. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I truly believe that every person is an image bearer of of God, and they carry that. Every person has true potential, and if they don't have true potential, it doesn't matter. They are a human being. And you need to be kind and courteous and loving to them. If you could sit down and have a beer with them or a coffee, there's value in that. And so I'm a huge proponent of that. Now, have I always followed that? No, I have not. Have I been a dick? Yes, there's been times in my life I have been a dick. But ultimately, I really do my best to make sure that, be mindful that every person brings value. That's it. I don't know. We just got philosophical there, but I really believe that. I really do. Now, if you don't mind me asking you real quick, now, do you at all look at charts at all?
Yes, I do. Every day. Yeah, every day I look at charts, but I don't analyze. I'm not a TA expert.
Okay. So are you more of a fundamentalist? Like you just go through and you look at it and kind of go, okay, from the metrics of contracts coming in, and business wise, I see that this being a good value. Is that how you look at the market?
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. I look at fundamental and then I look at the overall chart health. Yeah.
Okay. So if you don't mind me asking you real quick then, what are your thoughts outside of Bitcoin? Are there any other alts you look at?
Well, I try to stay focused on, Bitcoin, Lightning, and Liquid, because that's what Coinos is representing. And so Bitcoin is the normal base layer, the on-chain, and then there is Lightning, and Lightning is a layer 2 network of Bitcoin itself. And then Liquid is also a layer 2 network of Bitcoin. So I focus on those 3, and Coinos supports all 3 networks as well. It's all Bitcoin, but different networks. That's the focus now.
Cole, how is the growth of Lightning doing? I've used it a little bit through my Nostr account and through not through Nostr, but because of Nostr. But I haven't messed with it around for a while. How's its growth doing? Is it becoming more widely accepted, or is it still in that niche with the early adopters and true Bitcoiners?
Yeah, it's actually growing pretty good. It's growing efficiently, actually, and the Lightning Network capacity is reaching new all-time highs. So that means that the amount of Lightning nodes and the amount of liquidity being put in nodes, which means the amount of money, the amount of Bitcoin being circulated in the Lightning Network, it's growing at a very efficient rate. I say it's efficient because it's not only growing when the price of Bitcoin is good. It's growing, making new all-time highs, even when Bitcoin's price was at all-time lows. So the Lightning Network capacity was at all-time highs in 2022 into 2023, and now today it's hovering near previous all-time highs, hovering up there. It's not just dumping. And the Bitcoins, so to answer your question, long story short, it's increasing in popularity. The adoption is definitely growing, I would say, on a global scale in an efficient way.
All right, since I haven't used it that much, my user experience with it is minimal. Say I have in the Coinos wallet, I have 1 Bitcoin, which would be a great problem for me to have. I'd love to have that problem of having 1 Bitcoin in your wallet. But I go to a store and they're like, all right, we're going to sell you some sandwiches, and it takes a million sats for this this sandwich, or whatever it is, 500,000 sats, whatever the reasonable amount would be. How does it work to go from the Bitcoin denomination to get those things into sats to pay on the Lightning Network? I realize you can pay in Bitcoin as well, but from my experience, generally works on sats, and lots of them. Am I asking the right question? I mean, how does that work to get from one to the other?
You're basically asking how do you go from Lightning into dollars, and when you're paying for something at a merchant or no, in your bank account?
Yeah, I would say Bitcoin into. From my experience, the Lightning Network generally runs on number of sats being used. From a user perspective, not a node liquidity provider and all that type of stuff. I'm like, in my Lightning wallet, I have 5 million sats or something like that. I want to use them to. But if I only had Bitcoin and I wanted to get sats, does that happen in your wallet, or is that transparent to the user? Is that abstracted right out of this?
Yeah, right. So sats are Bitcoin as well. Sats are just a denomination of Bitcoin. So one sat is
Very
100
small
million
amount.
Bitcoin.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So a million, you said you have 5 million Satoshis. 1 million sats is 0.01 Bitcoin, essentially. So 1 million sats would be, I don't know, what would that be now? $590 US, something like that. Yeah, $600 US for a million Satoshis right now. And you're basically asking, how do we swap between the two? Coinos does that swap for you.
I mean, just from a user perspective, does it even matter? They just know that you put it in your wallet, but they're charging sats, not Bitcoin.
Well, sats are Bitcoin. It's just a smaller, like if I tell you 1 million sats, oh, you're talking about in denominated amounts?
Denominated
amounts? Okay.
Yeah, how does that work?
Yeah. So when you go to a merchant, they still charge everything in the normal dollar amount that they normally do. Everything's in dollars. So when you go to a merchant, I open up my wallet here, and then I'll send something. I'll scan the merchant's wallet, and then I'll type in, like the cashier tells me, let's say $4.87.
Right.
So that's what I type in, even though it's in Bitcoin. I'm sending the Bitcoin, but I type in the Canadian dollar amount on my phone.
Oh, I got you.
Even though, so I'm just, and you can see like the little amount under the dollars.
Yep.
Under the dollar, there's that little lightning bolt.
Yep.
So that lightning bolt tells me how many sats it is. You don't really need to know that in many cases when you're at merchants, right? And when you're like spending at merchants. But some people do want to know the sats conversion. You're just basically, but when you're using Coinos to pay at merchants, you're typing in the Canadian dollar amount, or I mean any dollar amount that. But wherever
ultimately, we'd like to get to the point where people say we'll take U.S. dollars, Canadian dollars, or crypto, and you can pay it'd be great for them to say, well, that's 100 million sats for that, or a million sats, or whatever, or a kilosat, or whatever the new terms are going to be for them. And the reason I ask is just been, I've had one wallet that has Bitcoin in it. I have another wallet that has sats, and they don't seem to work together. And so I was like, oh, I have to.
Well, yeah, no. That's a good question. So like sats are still Bitcoin, but what you're asking is Lightning. Like, so you have a Lightning wallet, you want to get the Lightning onto your Bitcoin wallet. So now with Coinos, we make it easy. We do that swap for you. So if you want to move your sats in your Lightning wallet into your normal Bitcoin wallet, let's say you're using Coinos, right? So Coinos is a Lightning and a Bitcoin wallet as well. Now I would press the receive button, the little receive button with the hand at the top there, and then I would select one of the three. It says Bitcoin, Liquid, or Lightning at the bottom there, right? So I would just simply press Bitcoin in that case, and then it gives me that wallet address, right? Show QR code, and then show QR code if I want, right? And if you can send me normal Bitcoin, or you can send the Lightning or Liquid, and my wallet will automatically convert it into for you. So you don't need to swap anything. Your Coinos wallet is by default Lightning.
Let's download that shit, man.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Yeah, 100%. Let's do it. Yeah, and it's really, you don't even have to download anything. It's even easier than that. It's a web wallet.
So how does the say Jesus here, our loyal viewer here, wants to be able to use that? What technology does he need on his end? Just an app?
Oh, that's it. Just a web. It's just Coinos.io. It's Coinos.io, and then when you go there, you just make an account. Takes 10 seconds. Is Jesus the car salesman guy?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Jesus.
He's
Jesus, the Lord and Savior.
Yeah, right. That's right. Does he own the or manage the dealership?
Yeah, it's his used car dealership in San
Yeah, it's
Francisco.
his. Yeah.
Well, that's really good. That's awesome.
And he's got a lot of friends too.
There you go.
He's piped up. Owner.
And
Hey, Cole, I think the website you just mentioned, coinos.io,
Yep.
is not working.
No,
if I have
it should work. Did you spell it coinos.io? Yeah. Because it's working for me.
Coinus.
No,
OS.
OS.
Oh, Thomas.
It's right there.
I am the loser. I know,
And
it's
then
on his shirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little subconscious there.
Yeah. And then if Jesus wants to create an account, I can send him like a little bit of Bitcoin just as like a test.
Well, let's get you and Jesus to hook up and talk a little. So
Totally
good. Yeah, we'll definitely get that going.
Now, explain to us what Liquid is. I understand Lightning now, and I understand Bitcoin. What is Liquid? We haven't talked about that much on this show.
Yeah, I was gonna say, talk to me. That was my next question. So, what's the moniker for it? What's the symbol
for lithium?
For Liquid. For Liquid.
No. Liquid is just Bitcoin. It's just on another network. Liquid is a layer 2 of Bitcoin, so it's just Bitcoin. It's just Bitcoin. Just on another.
It's like the Lightning Network, but different.
Yeah, it's like the Lightning Network, but different. Yeah. It's Liquid is on chain and Lightning is off chain. Lightning is the most private way that anyone can transact in the Bitcoin space.
Yeah. Okay. So
and
can you explain?
Yeah. So
I don't. Go ahead.
Well, yeah. If he says, am I pronouncing his name Jesus? Jesus?
No,
yeah, it's just Jesus. He's from Peru. He doesn't care. He's.
Okay, sure. So if he makes an account, I can he can name it Jesus. He could name if he wants, and then I could send him a little bit of Bitcoin, and he can experience it if he wants in the chat. If he makes an account, all he needs to do is tell me his username, and then I can type in his username in the sending field, right? I just type in the username, but we can do that, whatever. And then, so Pedro, what was that question? You wanted me to break it down more?
Yeah. So you said it is the most private way to send Bitcoin. So when I think of private way, two things I think of. One, Monero, right? And the issues that they went, and the second part is the issues that they went through, right? Like with the US government and going through all that, was it Tornado Cash and all that system. And, it's one of those things that I'm watching and I'm like, so if this is one way that is the most private, do you see it having issues with the governments, or do you see it kind of being fully accepted, but just understanding what it does? And explain what it is. Oh, I hate KYC. Do I need to KYC? Jesus says.
Good question. And I have good news for you, Jesus. No KYC.
Yeah, for the decentralized world here, for generally these things, we don't need to KYC till the government comes calling on the wallet providers, then we'll have a different thing. But go ahead, Jesus, go ahead and open up an account here and let us know how it goes. And behind the scenes, we'll get your info over to Cole, and he can get you a little bit into your account to start things off. And he's doing it right now. All right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I'm happy for him. That's so cool. He owns a car dealer and he's in Peru?
No, he's from Peru. He's in San Francisco.
Yeah. San Francisco. Right. You mentioned that earlier. He's in San Francisco, right? That's cool.
Yeah, no, he sells cars. This is the best part. We know him pretty well by now. Only about $12,000 and under cars, and no credit because he's not sending the repo, man. You come in with cash or crypto, and he wants to be able to start taking crypto.
I wonder if Chuck would set him up, and if some of his clients could pay in crypto. I wonder if that would be. I bet you he.
No, Chuck works for a big healthcare company.
No. Yeah. Maybe not. Well, we'll see what's up. We'll bring it up to see if he can maybe even do a little side thing going on. Chuck, he's a businessman. So.
Yeah, say goodbye to 3% card fees. I guess that's a good question there, Cole. If the Lightning Network is pretty much free, how are you guys making money on this?
Yeah, there's a 0.1. Coinos has a 0.1% transaction or conversion fee when you withdraw from your Coinos wallet to an external Bitcoin wallet. That's a 0.1%. But if you withdraw from your Coinos wallet to an external Lightning wallet, then there's no fee. Coinos charges you no fee. You will incur a Lightning routing fee but that's not much. That's not Coinos charging you on top of that.
Right. That's just like gas.
That's not. Yeah, it's kind of, you can call it that way. You can call it that.
But it
so
doesn't
cheap
work on the Lightning Network.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's not. It doesn't work the same as gas, but you can call it that just for ease of understanding purposes. Yeah.
Looks like Jesus has already signed up. He goes, well, this is simple enough.
Nice. There you go, buddy. What's his username? Is he okay with saying what his username is on the live stream?
He just said it. Yeah, it's right here.
He said SFC for Sucka Free City, SFC 415. That's the area code out there. So Sucka Free City.
That's awesome. So is that his profile picture? Tell him to confirm. SFC.
Yep. Exactly.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Nice. So I'll send 1,000 stats, right? 1,000 stats, and then he should get it instantly. Like less than one.
You should already have it there, Jesus.
Yeah. It takes less than 1 second.
I know. I when I first did it, I signed up for Nostr. I was messing around with it, and people were like, "All right, let's try out." Everyone download a Lightning wallet, and because you can tip people and all that in Nostr and that type of stuff in Sats. So I did to someone, and someone did it right back to me, and I was like, "Wait." I sent like 4,000 and got 4,000 back. And I was like, where's the fee? And they're like, well, there's no fee. I'm like, oh, my mind was leaking out my ear. I was like, oh, bank's not happy. Not normal.
Yeah.
See, this is why this is why Kevin O'Leary is like, crypto needs to happen, right? Because the man sends millions of dollars. So that 0.1% is like, what would that be? $1,000. So if the man's sending like 10 million, 50 million out, he's paying, what was it, like 3%, 2% in fees with that stuff. And so this is why these huge millionaires, I can't see them not wanting to push this and make it happen.
Mm-hmm. No, that's the thing, right? It's like that's what we have, right? Like that's the technology. It people in power, even if some of them are evil and what have you, they are smart enough to know that they can make money with it too, right? I mean, if they are so hungry for power, then they'd be smart to get it. I mean, if they're so hungry for like money, I mean, they'd be smart to get into Bitcoin, right? But at the same time, there's a lot of corrupt people out there, like banks, where they don't like crypto because it's so transparent, right? Like if I send you that the Lightning transaction I sent to Jesus that's not on the blockchain, so no one can really see that unless you have the Lightning node, unless you own the Lightning node. So that's good. But if I send Jesus a Bitcoin transaction, everyone in the world can look at that exact transaction, whether it's $5 or $10 million, right? And that's why some people that are in the banking industry don't like it, because in the banking industry, you can get away with a lot of stuff in the stock market because so much is hidden on the stock market. On Bitcoin, nothing's hidden on Bitcoin.
Well, so here's the thing now. So I agree with that. Like one thing I used to love about the blockchain is I could sit there and see how many buyers, how many sellers are coming in. And now that we have the institutions come involved and they have their own ecosystem, they're doing a lot of like interbanking system transfers between a lot of the stuff. And so it's really interesting to sit there. Now I can see, because I can see the wakes going up and down and seeing the volume coming in and out. But most people aren't skilled like that. So when I sit there and I give them like no, just go here and you can see the how many people are actually buying this, or how many people are selling or shorting this. It's right there in plain view. So I obviously they're going to need more Jim Cramers to say the least, to get people to buy or sell. Like it's just being honest, right? He's their guy. By the way, so Jesus says that somebody sent him some extra money. So, he said, what happened? Did someone send me more money? Send me more? So one, there's that. And then he also says, how does he cash out quickly? Did you get some back? Nah, it was him. He just did it twice. Oh, look at that. Sending you more. There you go.
Yeah. I gave him a little bit more just for fun. Yeah. And then if he is, that's cool. You're looking at our Twitter page. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
If he is near a cafe that accepts Bitcoin, I'll pay his coffee. I'll send him some more money if he wants.
There you go. Go get some coffee, Jesus. Put us on the phone and go get some coffee, and he got you.
Well, I mean, and also if he has, exactly. If he has friends that have businesses as well, I'm happy to talk to them as well. And right now, Jesus, he is able to accept Bitcoin payments now, like with his phone, or he can just set up his employee at his shop, so then when he's not there, his employee can accept the payments, right? And he would just give the employee access to his account, which is okay, because in the security settings, you can add a PIN code, right? So when you're adding it's called the security PIN, right? And then what that does is it allows your employees to use your account, but they cannot make any withdrawal without the PIN code, right? So that's what a lot of waitresses, waiters, coffee baristas, they all log into the owner's account, but they just can't make any withdrawals. They can receive and not withdraw. Yeah.
That's how Square works and that type of stuff.
There you go.
Right. Set up your employees to run the system, but they just can't take your monies.
Correct. There you go. You just said
I guess Jesus had a question he kind of sort of asked here is all right, so say someone pays him $1,000 for some car parts or something like that. And he's got that in BTC, and let me rephrase that. It comes in, it's in BTC or Sats or whatever he took, and he wants to put it in his actual fiat bank account. What's the process for that? You send it to an exchange, or do you guys handle that directly?
Right. So I recommend Cash App because he's in the United States. So he would have to use another app. Yeah, we are thinking about dealing with dollars, like fiat dollars. But at this point, we only deal with Bitcoin. So if he wants to put that into his bank account, he would withdraw from his Coinos wallet to Cash App, for example.
Right.
And then Cash App would put it in his bank.
Simple enough. Cash App is free and easy to use.
Yeah. And that's cool. He's got the video there, Aqua and Bitcoin. Yeah, that's a pizza place in Victoria, in BC. That's cool.
All right, so obviously going around store to store and signing a person up here and a person up there to do this is a good way to start. But really, obviously, the success of this is obviously getting into a point of sale, an institutional system of some sort, which is a whole different level of, from my perspective, a whole different level of programming. Say you went to Starbucks, that would be the holy grail of getting a client. But just say, all right, we want to be able to do this. They're like, well, here's our API to integrate with our system, and you got to have a little box come up on every screen. Blah blah blah. You guys have the capability to start going there, or are you looking to grow a lot smaller for a while first, and then start hitting those larger concepts?
Yeah, so we actually already have we're already fully integratable with very popular POS systems. There's a coffee franchise that's using us here in Vancouver called Artigiano. They have us integrated to all of their POS systems in all of 25 of their locations. So there is a Coinos button on all of their POS screens in all 25 locations. I think they have even more. They have even more than 25 locations now, I think. It was not difficult for them to do that. All they did is they just added that button on their master computer, which is one computer, and that automatically updated all the computers at all of their locations because they're all done on servers, right? So that's why they all communicate with each other, right? So we are integratable that way, to answer your question. And then we also have an option where we give the merchant a QR code. It's about that big. And then we put it on the table, the cashier's table, or some people put it as a sticker in front of their till, the cashier's till. And then when the customer scans that QR code, we supply the merchant with a little printer. The printer is about that big. It's about 4 inches by 3 inches by 2 inches, really small. It prints out a receipt immediately after the merchant receives the Bitcoin payment. That way you're only using the printed QR code and the printer itself. And it's so easy, like it's easier than Visa or MasterCard. So if you look at like a barista in a coffee shop, for them to accept Bitcoin when they have the QR code set up, it's incredibly easy. They just, the customer scans the QR code and then the printer prints out a receipt and then you wave goodbye to the barista.
That is amazing.
That is something. I guess that leads me to the question about one of the largest businesses around MasterCard and Visa and American Express and all that is selling all the information that you do and all that. Now, all of us in the crypto world hate that because that's what we're trying to get away from and all that. And by having those transactions go through. I guess that the best way to think about that from my end is that the transactions all go through Lightning nodes at some point or another. Now, is that data protected just naturally by the way the network is set up, so that like say Visa came in and started operating 5 nodes on the Lightning network, could then they start aggregating who buys what and doing the same thing that they do, or is that not possible with the current setup?
Right. That's a good question. The way the Lightning Network works, it works a little bit different than Bitcoin. What you're saying is, would they be able to have centralization control over the Lightning Network?
Not control. Would they be able to aggregate data on who's buying what? Say, Pedro and I are using our your wallet, and it's all Bitcoin going through the Lightning Network. Can they set up nodes to then aggregate all that, or is that still? They wouldn't be able to know it's you unless you post your identity online with your Lightning node. Yeah, and you can always change those addresses anyway, right?
Yeah. So you can change your wallet addresses for sure. Yeah, like every time. That brings me to another point here. So when I press the receive, so this is when I press the receive button, right? I get given a Lightning wallet address. You can see those letters and numbers. Okay. So it's ending in XZ9. Ending in XZ9. So what I'll do is I will refresh it. Now the letters are different. Right? You see that? Yes. Every time. So every time you send me something, it's a new wallet address.
Man.
Every time. So yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't think how cool that was. Yeah.
Yeah. So from a general user perspective, tracking even if you ran a node, tracking things from to one single entity is extremely difficult.
Tracking the identity is very hard. The only way that they would know is if you move your Lightning Bitcoin into your bank account. Then they'll know. Right? ATMs, though, they don't know. There's no KYC with ATM. So I can go to an ATM down the street, for example, and sell my Lightning Bitcoin for cash. And there's no identity there either, right? There is security cameras. So the security cameras can catch your face that way. I mean, and we're not criminals here or anything like that, but we still value our privacy, right? I just wanted to give that disclaimer. I wanted to give that disclaimer because there's other people viewing and stuff, and we don't want to seem like we're trying to run away from anything, right? We just value our privacy.
I think that's obviously an important thing that regulators are always thinking about. But really, the general concept of like, I want to be able to go to the store and buy something and not immediately start getting ads for that on everything I do, because Visa immediately sold that information to something too. Especially like,
and Visa, the old thing. Yeah, Facebook too, right? Yeah, Facebook is also really bad for that too. Like Facebook social media, they sell your data all the time. Facebook's the worst. But
the worst thing is around the holidays is that when you're like, you start Googling things out of your ordinary, because you get a list of presents and things like that from other significant people in your life. Yeah. And because they're in the same household with you and the same IP address,
all of a sudden
they start getting ads for the things that you're searching for to buy as presents. You're like, wait a minute.
No, that's weird. That's strange. Yeah, so
I don't like that.
I try not to use Wi-Fi. I try to just stay on my hotspot.
Here's the thing.
Public Wi-Fi's are difficult.
But let's say you were to branch this out in a sense and being able to actually transact in a way where you're able to buy from your wallet into fiat businesses. And all of a sudden, I can now transact and do everything I need to do. And I'm hidden, but I'm still able to transact. So, I mean, I have a couple questions. One, are you thinking about branching out outside, right, and trying to get into like other businesses with this model? Two, are you guys looking to bring in other coins? Let's say like Helium, they have a massive network, or let's say Ethereum, who also has a massive network. What are your thoughts?
So we focus on just Bitcoin, Lightning, and Liquid because we trust that network. I mean, there's, like I said before, there's not really trust, but with Bitcoin, but there is kind of like trust. Like we believe in the Bitcoin network the most. We believe in Bitcoin as the safest option that people can transact with compared to other cryptocurrencies, right? It's because we like the idea that Bitcoin's decentralized, whereas Ethereum is not. Ethereum is very centralized, and a lot of people ignore that. Whether it's going to fail next year or not, I can't comment. I don't know. You can probably make some money with it, sure. But I'm just focusing on Bitcoin, Lightning, and Liquid for the time being because it is, I understand it more, and I realize how important decentralization is for our money to be transacting with. And but that's kind of that's my stance on it, like for now anyways. Yeah. For why we don't want it, because we don't want to. There's a lot of people that talk about, like, there's a lot of people that ask us, why don't we have like other coins and stuff, and a lot of people look at those coins as Ponzi schemes. And there's a lot of people that look at them that way, and Bitcoin is a little bit different regarding its structure, regarding its proof of work structure. And its code, its source code, it's really, we like to just stick with Bitcoin for now. I'm pretty like we're going to be sticking with Bitcoin indefinitely is what I can say now.
What I can't figure out is how with Bitcoin they got everything right on the first try. I mean, they got everything that you could think about. It's like they kind of the U.S. Constitution. They got all the checks and balances right. They got, the fact, thinking that some guy just sat in a room going, it seems to me that like all the guys in Fort Meade had to be working on this together or something like that. But they like everything you can think of, they thought about. The only thing they really didn't think about was the 15-minute blocks being, or 10-minute blocks, whatever they are, just being too big, and that ultimately we'd want shorter ones. But all the checks and balances of how it works and all this kind of stuff, difficulty going up, and It all just works, and it's not like, well, they really blew that. It works enough to where there's a couple of $1 trillion or $1.5 trillion in it now, or whatever it is.
Yeah. Bitcoin's about $1 trillion.
Including countries like the general news article I focus on per show. There's the country of El Salvador, who's been obviously Bitcoin centric lately. Like anything in government, people have to be kind of trained and certified to be authorized to do that job. And so the government down there said, hey, wait a minute. We're going to be all this Bitcoin stuff. Most of our people kind of know about it. Kind of what Pedro was talking about earlier. How do we get that acceptance level up? Well, you educate people. And when you educate people, they use that education to better themselves. And so the government's going to train. I can't believe El Salvador has 80,000 government employees. I mean, the whole country is only, 2 million people or something? But anyway, they have 80,000 government employees that they're all going to take a 160-hour course. That's not chump change. 160 hours is a lot to become certified in Bitcoin. And it's not like open to everyone. I can go be certified in Bitcoin. It's, as a government bureaucrat or civil servant, how do we deal with it? What are the policies? Why does it exist? How can the government benefit from it? Blah, 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 blah. All that kind of stuff. And in groups like that, I say, well, can the United States' 33 million government employees be next? But Argentina's, million employees could be next. And suddenly we could have a sweep through South America, except for Venezuela, with a whole bunch of civil servants, trained on this. And once they all get it and get what they're officially allowed to do in their job, all kinds of avenues in governments will open for crypto. The whole payment thing will just ease right up. The whole acceptance for paying taxes will ease up. The whole, the concept of using Bitcoin to issue bonds and things like that will go from difficult things for banks to understand and government people to process to simple. And that's when all of this explodes. Like my question to you earlier is the acceptance rate and how are people doing it? If we can, if the government of El Salvador is teaching their employees to do it. Nick, what's to stop them from having a Coinos account? This is easy. Pay. Just like in Africa, people pay with their mobile phone credits on their accounts. Can't get any simpler than that.
It's so basically you're asking we got it right on the first try, and you know what, you're right, we just got that lucky to hit it bang on the very first try. You're right.
It's like the first meme coin you get in doing a 10,000x on your putting $500. Next thing you know, you pull out
10,000x. Right. 10,000x would be nice. No.
That's essentially, they got it right, and there's to this day, there's hackers everywhere trying to figure out, governments trying to figure out how to take advantage, and everyone's like, so it just works.
No, for sure. It's okay. So with that, there's Bitcoin improvement proposals, BIPs, that come out every so often, and so those are improvements of the Bitcoin blockchain. So the Bitcoin we have today is not exactly the same. Yeah.
It is different. In fact, it's Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin,
Well, so Bitcoin, but even then though, Bitcoin Cash is the Bitcoin Cash is a fork. Bitcoin SV is a fork. Litecoin, Dogecoin, those are forks, right? But the Bitcoin we have today is still a little bit modified, a little bit different than it was from the beginning, and it had to be that way because in 2010, a lot of people don't know this. Bitcoin had a bug in its code itself in 2010. 99.9% of people don't talk about this, right? So it's it had a hack it had a bug in 2010, but it was discovered and they were able to release a new version of Bitcoin and without that bug. So it was still Bitcoin, but without the bug. And that's kind of what happened. There was another bug that happened as well in 2013. And that was also discovered and fixed. And since then, though, Bitcoin's network's only been getting it's only been getting a lot bigger, a lot stronger. The hash rate of the Bitcoin network, it was at all-time highs, was reaching new all-time highs in 2022, right? Like when Bitcoin's price was at all-time lows. A lot of people don't talk about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. I didn't know about the bugs either, and I pay attention to this a lot. Although I must say I didn't pay attention to it back then, and that, as I famously talk about on this show, in about 2012 or 13, when my son was 11 or 12, he's like, "Dad, have you heard of this Bitcoin thing?" And I was like, "Yes, son, I have heard of this Bitcoin thing." And he said, "Well, you need to buy it." And I'm like, "Well, it's kind of risky, son. I don't, the family was starting my own business, and I was like, well, I've got some extra savings, but I really need to, we need to invest that wisely." And that, right? Every time I see him, he's like, "Dad, if you just bought that Bitcoin, we'd not have any trouble here."
That's how people say, right? Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, damn it. I hate it when a kid is right. Anyway, Pedro, we're getting long in the tooth here. Why don't you bring us to the conclusion of this here in the next 5 to 7 minutes or so? Pedro, you're on mute.
One of the things I think is really important to understand, and I think you could maybe kind of close this off with this, is like, what are you guys looking to do? Because obviously you're not stopping here, right? And how could somebody, so one, what are you looking to do in the future? And two, how can somebody get involved with you and with the organization? Because one thing that is beautiful about crypto is that there's community, and it's built in an amazing way, and it really allows for it to grow and mature in the future. So if you could tell our viewers how they can get involved with you and what you guys are looking to do in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. The way that anyone can get involved with us, they can go to our homepage that you see pulled up on the screen there, Coinos.io. You can go, there you go. And you can go to the bottom of the website and see our link tree, which has all of our social media pages and all of the ways you can contact us on one page. That map, there's also a map at the bottom of our homepage as well that you clicked on. And the map shows the locations of almost all the businesses in the world that are using us. And so I would add Jesus's business to the map. When he confirms with me that he's actively accepting Bitcoin, I would add his business to the map as a pin. And the best way to get a hold of us, go to our link tree, reach out to me on social media, email, Coinos.io, the website. The Twitter is Coinos Wallet. Send me a message there if you want. Instagram is just at Coinos.io.
What are you on Twitter? Or what are you on X? And
on X, Coinos Wallet.
Coinos Wallet. There you guys go.
Yeah.
And then Facebook, how do they find you on the FB?
Oh, what was that? FB?
Yep.
Oh, well, sorry, Facebook. Yeah.
Facebook, sorry.
We're just Coinos. Yeah.
There you go, guys.
Oh, yeah. I've called up Ottawa. Nothing there yet. We got to get some coffee shops and other things there yet. Huge in Ottawa, like many towns and cities in Canada, have a huge Asian population, and they are fully on with crypto.
Cool.
Especially the Korean crew.
Cool.
So look forward to seeing some places in Ottawa, and then I will have to download the app and start using it.
Yeah, and to give it, remember, it's a web app. It's just a website, Coinos.io, and then you can add that as a button to your home screen, right?
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah. So when you add it as a button to your home screen of your phone, it's just like adding a bookmark. So you're not actually downloading anything, which makes it safer for you as the user, of course, right? You're not downloading anything.
This is brilliant. Brilliant. And I look forward to bringing you back on, especially when you have, 5 billion locations. And,
we got to go through 6 levels of management to get an appointment with you.
Don't forget. It was funny how we met. It was so serendipitous, right? Like originally we met through Pat. And then like, it was just, life happens and we kind of miss each other, right? And then again, it happened over at the Futurist Conference and with the CEO of Bitcoin.com, which I was just like, I remember we're sitting there and you're like, dude, I know you. How do I know you? It was
really cool. Yeah, no, it was awesome. Yeah, we already had like a chat log of talking to each other when we met each other there at the Futurist, and it was really cool, man. I liked how we met that time. That was awesome.
Yes.
I like how the interaction went.
Yeah. I mean, it was genuine. It was real. It wasn't made. And,
totally. Totally. Yeah, it couldn't have been more natural or meant to be, right? Like what are the odds that you and me are gonna cross paths? Like I mean, Pat, like where's Pat? Pat's in Alberta or whatever.
A match made
He's
in
like
heaven.
far away. Yeah.
It really was. It was almost as if it was almost as if it was trying to, like, there was a middleman originally, and then there was another middleman originally. We're so busy. And the thing is, with me, I'm so busy trying to accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish that sometimes it's hard for me to see outside the box, right? And vice versa with, most people, right? So I thought it was just really interesting to see. So.
Yeah, likewise. Well, I mean, thanks for having me on, guys. This is really good. I'm gonna share this and tag me on X as well, on Twitter, and then I can retweet, comment, bookmark, all that stuff too, right?
Yeah. We'll do that. We'll already during the show. I tweeted out a few times just to get people to watch the X thing. I used the Coinos wallet X account.
Are you tagging me when you're making those tweets? Coinos wallet.
I didn't tag. I tagged Coinos wallet.
Yeah. You can say Cole with Coinos wallet. Say Cole with Coinos wallet. Yeah.
And that's what I did. And I'll follow that up with too. I'm gonna make a new thumbnail for the show also, and do all that type of fun stuff and send it out. But for those on the screen here, we've got upcoming events. If you're watching this from the Vancouver area, this Thursday we've got a meetup at the Funk Coffee Bar in Vancouver, and coming up next week in Burnaby. We have the Cafe Artiano. I can't say that. Artiano is how you pronounce it. Artiano, like they're Argentinian. Artiano. That would be Italian. Anyway, and then once again at the Funk Coffee Bar a week after that. Looks like you guys have a lot coming up. Meetups to exchange information, talk Bitcoin. One of the hallmarks of the crypto industry is getting together to talk about this stuff and spread the word. Even though it's talked about quite a lot on the major news medias, the good stuff is still in the coffee shops, as they say.
Yeah,
cool. Sure. Thanks for joining the show. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. It was fun. And then Jesus, send me a message too, and I'll get you set up for your business. Okay, I'll see you. I don't know
why my screen is showing this instead of yours. There we go.
And then, Pedro, have a good one as well. We will keep in touch on Telegram and social media. Okay.
Definitely, brother. All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Cheers, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming to the end of the show here. Thanks, Cole, for joining us. Really appreciate it. Pedro, we got a good show today. Good information. Love learning something new. Before we sign off, during our 2-hour talk there with Cole, and once again, I apologize for calling you Chris in the middle of it. We have a frequent guest named Chris. Anything happened during the show with Bitcoin in the markets, or is it just dead, Ola?
No, so it's starting to push. Let's go and check it out here real quick. So we're coming back up to retest this area here. We were talking about the intro time frames here as it was selling off, but we were coming into some higher time frame SMAs down in these lower levels. We saw the market shot down or shot up to go down, and then now we're starting to see it kind of rally up. So we're going to see if it's going to be able to establish some orders here and push down, or are we going to establish some orders and push through this area here to get to the highs of that 61,000. So we're going to see what happens here, but that's it in a nutshell. Ultimately, we all know that Bitcoin is sooner or later be at $1 billion coin. Fingers crossed, right?
Well, as Mr. Beast, Taylor Swift, and Shib says, that's all we got for you today, ladies and gentlemen.
Mr. Beast, thank you for your time, aka Bitcoin.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again, the end of the show. We had a good run today. Third show this week. Love putting out the content. Pedro and I always have a good time doing it. And Pedro, thanks for bringing Cole on today. It was an excellent guest with the show. Good conversation. Love learning about a new project like that, and something simple that you can either pay in, or if you're a merchant, then you can take the money. There's no massive accounts. There's no running things through KYC and all that. It's just, hey, do we want to exchange something of value? Yeah, bang, bang, done. instant, can't be reversed. There's no fraud, and can't be any fraud in it because it's on the Lightning Network or in the Liquid Network or whatever. So once that somebody sends you the money, it's not reversible. You don't get credit card charge reverse backs, whatever. If Mrs. Striking and I take credit cards for her primary business, very infrequently we do, but each time it's a pain in the ass, and you don't get nearly as much money as you think. It's like, and if you do it one way, even on their website, if you do it one way, it's like 3.25%. If you do it another way, it's 2.75%. Unless this, then that, then this, and then that, then it's still 3%. And you're like, that's a lot of damn money over time.
Dude, 3% every time. Like, you don't understand. I mean, people get rich off of 3%. I had a friend of mine. Anyhow, yeah, with this system, it's going to allow people to be able to transact, move, groove, and honestly save money so that they can put it into the economy versus actually going through and going into a major corporation where they just kind of hold on to that cash. So,
oops, hit the wrong button there.
It's all good. But I think that this system here is a system that's going to be able to simply be able to be used. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it moves and where we move with it. Tom, thank you. Appreciate you having me today.
All right. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same bat channel. I don't think we have a guest tomorrow. I was supposed to have a Defi Dojo segment, but those guys they coordinate with too many people. Not the dojo people, but the guest has to coordinate with too many people. So probably won't have a guest on tomorrow unless I can scare up someone else to talk. But anyway, maybe tomorrow we'll just talk more charts and stuff like that since we haven't done a lot of that this week. I don't know, we'll figure it out. But anyway, as they always say, my name's Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media world. So glad to have hosted another episode of DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. And for Pedro, Garcia, and myself, we'll see you tomorrow, so be there. Jesus gets the last comment.
There he goes.
Arrivederci. Oh, no, wait, Darren's got it. Thanks for joining us all day, Darren. Bye.